Hello everyone, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you what's on my iPad Pro, and before you click out of this video, I just want to let you know that I will be showing you an app on which you can take free notes, and that app is not the Notes app. I do have an Apple Pencil as well, and I will be linking down below the case or the cover, whatever you want to call it, for my Apple Pencil as well as for my iPad. On the bottom bar, I have saved Messages, Gmail, Safari, Music, GoodNotes 5, which I will get more into in a bit, the App Store, and a textbook app from my school, and then of course the most recently used apps. On the top row, I have Settings, Calendar, Clock, Photos, Camera, and this multi-timer because I often need multiple timers, and of course my iPad can't have multiple timers on the Clock app, so this app is really useful for that. Now, going into the folders, you might notice that the titles of my folders have a different font, and how you do that is by going onto a website on Safari. I'll link it down below, but if you just look up fancy fonts and click on the first website you see, you'll see something like this. Then you can just type in the title of your folder on the left side and look through the fonts on the right side, choose whichever font you like the best and copy it. I'm just copying the one that I used for the rest of my folders here. Then you will exit the website and rename the folder, and when you paste it, it will show up as the font that you chose. Now, moving back into what was actually in the folder, I have all the basic Apple apps, and then I also have GoodNotes 4 in here. I use the GoodNotes 5 app, so I don't really need this app on there. Another app that I kind of use, but not through the app, is because it's a keyboard, and that's the Selfie pen script app, I believe it's called. I'll also link that down below. And what that does is if you have an Apple Pencil and you don't have a keyboard, then you can actually just write on the keyboard on the screen of the iPad. I hope this is making sense, but obviously you can just see what's going on. And it usually reads it pretty well. My handwriting wasn't the best here because my iPad was upright and I usually have it laid down when I'm actually writing. So it did mess up on the second word that I wrote, but in general, it's pretty good. For some reason, the iPad still does not come with basic apps like weather and calculator, so I had to download my own weather app. The next folder, which is chats, I have FaceTime, Skype Business, GroupMe, and Zoom, everyone's current favorite app. The next folder is my productivity folder, and I'd like to think that I spend the most time in this folder, even though I probably don't. I have Google Classroom, Timetable. Timetable is an app kind of like the calendar app, but you can make your own tasks and check them off every day. Then I have Quizlet, and I'm sure you guys all know about this app. I mostly use it on my iPad just to look through flashcards, or sometimes if I'm feeling extra bored and I need to prepare for a test, I'll play the matching game on there. This next app is probably what you all have been waiting for, which is the free note-taking app. It's actually very similar to Notability and GoodNotes. The biggest difference is that it is free, in my opinion. So if you guys would like an in-depth going through this app, then please let me know because I would be happy to do that. Here, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the app. As you can see, you can have multiple notebooks, just like in GoodNotes or Notability, and have different pages. I actually like the layout of this better than GoodNotes because you can actually see the different pages that you make. Another reason why I like this more than GoodNotes is because you can actually type on it just like you would type on a regular Word document or a Google Doc. Of course, you can also take handwritten notes, which is always my preference. I did not change the paper background for this particular video, but there are different options just like in GoodNotes and Notability on this app as well, such as grid paper and line paper. Again, just like GoodNotes, and I believe Notability does this too now, the highlighter actually goes behind the text in this app as well. If you are left-handed or write in an odd way, then you can also go ahead and change your orientation through the settings of this app. Next, I have Files, which I mostly use to transfer paper templates onto GoodNotes. Then I have Notes. I know that a lot of people call this the free note-taking app. However, I don't think this is the best free note-taking app because on this, as you can see, the highlighter does go on top of the text, so you can't even see what you're writing. And overall, it's just not as good of an option as OneNote is. Because GoodNotes doesn't have the lecture recording feature like Notability does, I just use voice memos for that. Next, I have a school website, so I'm not going to get too much into that. And then I have color vision, which I mostly use for GoodNotes. Basically, you can point your camera at any color that you like, and it'll tell you the code for that, so you can put that into GoodNotes and use that to write. The next folder is the Google folder, which has apps that I mostly use for school. One app that I do use for personal stuff is Google Photos. If you're running out of storage on your phone, then this is an app that you should definitely use. I also used to use Google Keep as a supplement to Google Calendar just so that I could check off my tasks, but now I use Timetable, so I don't use this as often. I use the next folder, which is Adobe, mostly for school as well. The first app is Acrobat Reader, which I use for PDFs. Then I have Premiere Rush, which is a video editing software. If you would like an in-depth run-through of this, then please let me know also. Then I have Lightroom, which I know that a lot of people use for Instagram. I'm just using this eye as an example, but I really like it because of all the options that it has. Then I have Adobe Spark, which can be used to make infographics. The next app I have is Adobe Spark Post. The first one was Page. And then I have the Adobe Scanning app so that if I ever get a worksheet, I can just put it onto my iPad and do it on my iPad instead of having loose worksheets everywhere. The next folder is my games folder. I don't really play games as much anymore, but I used to when I first got the iPad. The first one is Airport Scanner. This is so fun to play, at least on my phone. I don't really play it as much on my iPad. Basically, you just look through luggage and make sure that there's no illegal items in there. Next, I have Minecraft. I don't really use this as much anymore either, but basically if I'm ever feeling very creative and in the mood to make a world, then I'll use this to do that. Next, I have these two Sims apps and Plants vs. Zombies. If you have any good game recommendations, please let me know. The next folder is my entertainment folder, and of course I have YouTube and Netflix. Currently I'm watching Grey's Anatomy all over again, and then I also started The Originals, which is a sequel to Vampire Diaries, but I don't like it as much. If you have any recommendations for Netflix, Disney Plus, ABC, then please let me know because I have a lot of time on my hands now and I would love to watch a new show. Next is my creativity folder, which has Adobe Fresco, which is kind of like Procreate except it's free. Next I have Artset, which I mostly use to plan out my physical paintings, and this is an example of that. This app is great if you are planning on blending colors in real life because it's actually quite accurate. Next, I have two apps that I've never used, so I'm not going to talk about them. And Vectornator, I use this to make my profile picture. It's, again, a lot like Procreate, except I kind of like it better. I've tried out Procreate at the Apple Store, and I like this better because A, it's free, and B, it's a lot more beginner-friendly. Then I have Sketchbook, which is also like Vectornator and Procreate, except I don't really like this app at all. It's not as user-friendly as Vectornator is, so I don't use it as often. I'm also trying to learn how to play the guitar, so I have the Fender app since they have a 3-month free trial. Then my last folder is Creation, which I use to make YouTube videos. So I have Fonto, YouTube Creator Studio, and iMovie, which is what I use to edit most of my videos. I'm also going to quickly show you my GoodNotes app and talk a little bit about why I chose to buy this instead of continuing to use OneNote. Basically, from the GoodNotes app, you have the ability to print out pages, whereas on OneNote, each page is extremely long, so it's not actually the size of a printer page. I also chose GoodNotes over Notability because it has more customization options and you can actually save those customizations instead of having to go back in every time and change the color, for example. GoodNotes also has several shortcuts that not a lot of people know about, so if you would like an in-depth video on that, just let me know as well. On the side, I have music, calendar, screen time, and batteries, just so I can keep checking my Apple Pencil battery because it has run out of battery multiple times. I like to check my screen time all the time. As you can see, my average is about 5 hours, which is so much in my opinion, and I just use it to make sure that I'm being productive, and as you can see, I was watching a lot of Netflix, so clearly I'm not being very productive right now. But yeah, those are all the apps that I have on my iPad. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and also leave down any video suggestions. I put in a lot of effort in my videos, so I would appreciate any support. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!